So be me, Charlie has just been a mess for the past couple of months due to hormones, moving, and whatnot. So I think maybe she needs some new toys. I firstly try and reorganize the 20 toys that she already has. I try and buy some new ones of decent quality twice. And yet Charlie just continues screaming, being a menace, does not care for them. Except for one single toy that would give me 5 to 10 minutes of peace and quiet, being the solar cabin from BirdTricks. That, by the way, looks like this now. You might recognize the solar cabin from an unboxing video that I did almost a year ago, where BirdTricks were so kind to send me some of their toys to look at. And might I say, all of the toys from that review are totally destroyed and gone. The solar cabin just survived because it has this very hard coconut shell that Charlie was never really too interested in, and she never really got through it. But my god, she is still interested in destroying every bits and piece under that coconut shell rather than any of her other toys. I have just removed the toy from the bag because Charlie hasn't been interested in it for a while, and noticed that she has these toys as well that's been in here for a little bit of time, and yet she wants to get every inch out of that BirdTricks toy as she can, even though it's basically almost destroyed. You are a very expensive bird, Charlie. But you know quality when you see it, so I can respect that. So you might ask yourself why I didn't just buy more BirdTricks toys, but the thing is that because BirdTricks is based in America, it is very expensive for me to pay for shipping actually. So even though the toys themselves aren't expensive, I at least think it's very fair priced, then the shipping makes it super expensive. However, after Charlie so kindly demonstrated what brand she prefers, I thought, okay, I've gotten a job, I have a little extra money, why not treat her a little bit and buy a bundle from BirdTricks? Charlie's hormonal behavior has made me so desperate for toys that she likes, okay? Now, BirdTricks wasn't only kind enough to, of course, give me the toys for my last unboxing, but they also gave me a $20 gift card that I could use at their store. And therefore, I wanted to use it in their toy store. But because those are two different things, it didn't work. So I just wrote to sweet, sweet Dana, who works at BirdTricks, just to hear if I could get a new one or if it had expired or something so that I could place a new order. And then I get this email back. If you want to do another unboxing video, we can forget about the $20 coupon and we will send you another toy box. Like, what? Yeah. So here we are a month and 2 weeks later, because we did have some trouble with the Danish postal system. Dana, I am so grateful for your help, and BirdTricks, I'm so sorry this got so delayed. But I'm here to show you all the goodies that I got sent that BirdTricks partially chose for Charlie and that I partially chose for Charlie. And may I say, she has already been distracted for way longer than with any of the other toys. And I have yet to find a brand that can do this. Like any other brand I buy, Charlie doesn't care. BirdTricks toys, Charlie goes ballistic and is distracted for such a long time. So let me try and go over every single one of the toys and why I believe that they're super good and why Charlie really likes them. If you didn't see my last unboxing or just don't know who BirdTricks are, then you have been very confused for the first part of this video. But BirdTricks is a company based in America owned by bird trainers Dave and Jamie Lee, who have over 30 years of experience that they use not only to make amazing toys like these that are actually parrot friendly, that meaning destructible, but they also share great knowledge about parrot behavior, training, not to mention hormones, and much more on their YouTube channel, as well as offer in-depth courses on all of these topics. You can also find tons of info about free flying, since most of their own parrot are free flyers, trained by Dave and Jamie themselves. But I really can't recommend checking them out enough. There will be a link guiding you to their channel and the online store where you can find some of these toys in the description. So let's take a look at it. As I mentioned, the package was very delayed due to problems with the shipping, but I will say that this was because the items were sent as a gift from BirdTricks, which just somehow confused the whole postal company regarding import fees and whatnot. So don't be afraid to order outside of the US. You won't run into the same problems that I have, and I have before ordered from them with no issues. The reason I do want to mention the delay is because I actually got this order around Easter and therefore was lucky enough to get this super cute carrot toy for free, which every customer did during this time. The event sadly has ended, but you can keep an eye out on BirdTricks channel, and there might be even more events during the year. I don't know if there will, of course, but sometimes they do some deals or super cute things like this, where they give you a little extra toy for free. Just like all of their other toys, this little carrot is made from all natural material, and what you will also find is this super cute little leather strap with their logo on it. And it's made from veggie tan leather, so there's no artificial things added to the toys. And on top of that, they look super aesthetic, so what's not to like? Charlie has, by the way, only had these toys for like a little week, so I haven't had the chance to use all of them. So I thought I would just come out with some updates, during the next weeks on her reaction to the ones I haven't given her yet. But as you will also see later, she has already gone ballistic on some of them. It generally is a really good idea to have some toys on rotation so that your bird doesn't grow bored of a toy. It could also just be moving the same toy from one place to another. I have found with Charlie that there's one specific spot she really likes to play no matter what toy I put there. If it's another place in the cage, not interested. So moving on, let's start out with the toys that BirdTricks actually picked out for us, which were a lot of super cute tiny toys as well as a few bigger ones. Now, tiny toys are great because obviously the parts are just smaller and therefore the small species can enjoy them, but they also fit great into carriers and travel cages, which is what I use them for a lot of the time. But if you have a bigger species like a macaw or maybe an Amazon or something like that, they make great foot toys, which is basically just for them to sit and hold in their hand while destroying it. And some parrots really like playing that way. What you can also use them for is actually just combine a lot of tiny toys into a bigger toy. Thereby it has a lot of different textures. And yeah, tiny toys overall just have great uses despite being, well, tiny. So the first example we have of a tiny toy is this called the flower. And I think it's the most varied tiny toy in terms of textures because you have this big mahogany part in the top, which is obviously very hard. And then under the mahogany, there's this cute woven palm leaf flower thingy. And then you have these two, and I'm unsure what they are, but I think it's some kind of dried leaf. It easily breaks and it's very crunchy light. So this toy is super great if you have like a bird that you are just unsure of what textures it likes. Then you can try this out, see what is your bird to. Will it destroy the mahogany first, or is it more for the crunchy texture, or maybe the softer texture in the palm leaves? So super great if you're unsure on what it likes and want to try out something. Next up is the loofah sandwich, which I actually got both the tiny toy version of and the size medium, which you can see Charlie has already destroyed a bit of. And the reason behind this is that the secret to Charlie's heart is balsa wood. Now, apart from the balsa wood, the loofah sandwich actually gets its name from this sponge-like structure, which is derived from the loofah plant. So again, all natural materials. And the loofah feels so funny, it's hard to describe. But I think the best way is like soft, uncooked noodles. Yeah. What's awesome about loofah is because it has this spongy structure, it's super easy to use for foraging. You could put treats over or under or inside the loofah for a bird to find and hopefully just destroy the whole toy in the process. Then we have the roly-poly, a toy that Charlie has actually shown way more interest in than I thought she would, and that's great. Just like the flower, the roly-poly has a lot of great textures. These thingies sticking out are dried corn husks with some loofah in between, which again is great for foraging. And then you have these layered wood types, and I think Charlie really enjoys the solar wood, which is a wood type you will find on this one, and it's super soft, just like the balsa wood, but maybe even softer. I, by the way, love that on a lot of the tiny toys and smaller toys, you will find these very soft wood types, so that species like budgies that might not have a super strong beak can actually destroy them. But those were actually the extra toys, so to say, that BirdTricks were kind enough to pick out for us. And then I also got to pick out some toys that I thought Charlie would really enjoy. If you again saw my last unboxing, you might recognize the Tango's treasure, which Charlie just had such a blast with that I had to order another one. And this is how it looks after 2 days. And this is what my floor looks like after 1 day. But as you have probably guessed, the wood cubes are made of balsa wood. I have yet to find another toy brand that actually uses balsa wood or solar wood in any of their toys. It's always these super hard wood types that Charlie will just never get through. On top of the blocks of balsa wood, the Tango's Treasure, like many of the other BirdTricks toys, has these harder wood beads, which may be Charlie's second favorite texture. As mentioned, she really likes harder textures, and these she can just sit with her hand, or it fits in her beak, and that way she can sort of nibble on it until it just breaks in half. Because even though these look harder in texture, they're not unbreakable. Because Charlie likes balsa wood so much, I also decided to get a tiny toy, being these sticks and stones, since I did need a new toy for her carrier, and I didn't know that BirdTricks would send 4 extra, you know. But as you can see, it's a string of balsa wood and solar wood, and as mentioned, solar wood is just even softer, and I realized that Charlie loved it after she had her last toy from the last unboxing, being the Rising Nibbler, I think it was called, and she also just loved that toy, especially the solar wood. Now I'm gonna be honest here, I think I missed or forgot to check the size on this one, which is on me obviously, because I know this is a tiny toy, but material-wise I would say it's a tiny toy. And while I think Charlie will go ballistic on it and that it will be gone after 5 minutes, which is obviously a good thing, don't get me wrong, I think it's so small that a medium bird like Charlie would be better off with one of the more chunkier tiny toys, like maybe the loofah sandwich, if they wanted to last just a bit longer. Though, as mentioned, I love the materials on this one. I just really wish they had it in a bit bigger size, but your smaller birds will probably love it. So this clip and the previous clip is all that Charlie got to do with this thing. And she loves it, as you can see, but it's already gone. She had a minute of fun with it, and the toy is already gone. Which is so sad, because she really likes it, as you can see. It's all over the floor already, all over the table. I just wish it was bigger, you know. Now we get to the big boys, starting out with the Cube Cruncher, which is a medium version of another toy that they have called the Blocktopus, and I just love that name. And for the Cube Cruncher, I am so sad that I didn't read about what materials it's made of, which is, by the way, information that is right there in front of you when you go to buy the toy. Because I actually did think that the cubes on the Cube Cruncher were made from balsa wood, because they look so similar to the cubes on the Tango's Treasure. So I thought, surely it's the same material, right? Cube is cube. But sadly, for my situation, it's of course totally fine for some other birds. The cubes on this one are made of pine wood, which, as you might know, is a very hard wood type, especially compared to balsa. And it does really show, because Charlie hasn't really touched the Cube Cruncher that much, but has really preferred to nibble on the balsa wood on 2 of the other toys. So it just shows that Charlie is not really a pine wood fan. She's more for the softer wood types. With that said though, the toy is of course still really good quality, obviously. And I really like the way it sort of takes up space, if that makes sense. It's not too much and it's not too little. It's a perfect size. Now, despite not liking pine that much, Charlie has still managed to remove all the wood from 2 out of the 4 legs. And that is actually a little criticism that I have for the Cube Cruncher, because in the beginning I thought that Charlie had untied the nut at the bottom and therefore all of the cubes and beads had fell off, which, fair enough. But turns out she actually just destroyed the bottom wood bead thingy, and then because the holes in all of the other wood beads and cubes are so big, the whole leg just fell off over the knot. It's not a huge deal, obviously. I could just make a double knot to ensure that the other things won't fall off, or I could make another DIY toy with the materials, but I thought it was just worth mentioning. So as I said, Charlie shows a lot of interest in balsa wood, solar wood, and then these small hard wood beads that you'll find on a lot of the toys, like the Cube Cruncher, but also the Tango's Treasure and a whole lot more. So when I saw the Tekken toy, I knew what I had to do. The Tekken is this super long toy just filled to the brim with these wood beads. And I had a very specific idea for this toy, actually, even before I ordered it. Because as you might know, I made this cute little corner thingy with a perch and a spider plane for Charlie. She's been loving it so far, but I thought it could look so cool with the Tekken hanging from the ceiling going down to the perch. so that Charlie could obviously sit on the perch while playing with it. And just look at this. I thought it turned out so cool, and Charlie was a bit skeptical of the Tekken toy in the start, but remember, it is a big toy for a bird Charlie's size, so I don't blame her. But she has been warming up to it and has already destroyed some of the beads, as well as done some very delicate parkour. I also love that BirdTricks suggests on their website that you can use the Tekken to make other toys because it has these very long legs, so to say, which is generally a good idea for any of their toys really. But also that you can twist the Tekken in between the bars of the bird cage to make a long line of wood beads that can then be destroyed from both the inside and the outside of the cage, which I kinda wanna try out permanently, but I think it could be such a great idea if you have a smaller bird that could be a bit intimidated by the Tekken, but still really loves wood beads. That was all the toys that I got sent, and BirdTricks, I obviously can't thank you guys enough. You can find all of the toys that I showed you here, including more, what they're made of, their sizes, and all the info that you want really at BirdTricks Toy Store. The pricing is really affordable and the quality is obviously amazing. Everything is undyed, natural materials, and even the hangers you can get with your order are of good quality and safe to use. Remember, BirdTricks also has a lot of other different products that I really do encourage you to go and check out, as well as their main channel, of course. If you should have any questions regarding the toys that I showcased here, or anything else, they are super helpful in BirdTricks team, and you can write to them at info@birdtricks.com. But thank you so much for listening, and BirdTricks, again, thank you.